Hello, everyone. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help the channel out quite a bit. Thank you very much.
The GI Journal goes to press with a special anniversary edition.
GI Journal. It's the GI Journal.
Yes, sir, it's the GI Journal again. But this week, the presses are roaring with a special anniversary edition. And to be your extra special editor-in-chief, we've promoted your super favorite secretary, Linda Darnell.
Thanks a lot, fellas. It's swell to be swiveling around in the editor's chair for this anniversary GI Journal as we reprint what you overseas subscribers have voted the highlights of the year. 5-star headliners on many a GIJ have been the Pied Pipers with June Hutton. And here they are to bannerline this special edition.
When the red robin comes bopping along, there'll be no more sobbing when he starts throbbing his old sweet song. Wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up out of bed. Cheer up, the sun is red. Blues, those blues to be happy. What if I be blue? Now I'm walking among the flowers. Raindrops glisten, but still I listen for hours and hours. I'm just a kid again, doing what I did again, singing a song. When the red robin comes bopping along. I've been blue, but now I'm walking through fields of flowers. Raindrops glisten, but still I listen for hours and hours. Just a kid again, doing what I did again, singing a song. When the red robin comes bobbing. When the red robin comes bobbing along.
Thank you, Pied Pipers. That was swell. Now, page 2 of our special edition, and a reprint of an exciting moment in GI Journal's history when Kay Kaiser was editor and his chief worry was reporter Frank Morgan.
Hello, boss. This is Scoops Morgan again. I'm overseas with the commandos. We just finished a raid on a secret island.
Good. Tell me about the raid.
The raid, yes. Well, somebody tipped the cops and they pinched the dames, but I got out the back.
What? You mean the commando raid? Now, just a minute, Frank. Before you start anything, I don't believe you were with the commandos at all. Unless it was by accident.
I assure you my presence at the commando raid was by no means an accident.
Then you insist you were there.
Have you ever known me to tell a lie, Kay?
Never.
Well, then, what did you say?
I said I've never known you to tell a lie, Frank.
I think you've been standing too close to your brass section. Anyway, I was the first man to reach the enemy shore.
Well, how did that happen?
I'll never know. It's one of the unsolved mysteries of the war. However, I was to contact an operator there and get a map showing the enemy's positions. You know, gun emplacements, trenches, beer joints, key points.
What?
Once ashore, I changed into the garments of a native and made for a small farmhouse. I knocked at the door and roused the owner. In order to avert suspicion, I told him I was a farmhand, was seeking employment. At that moment, I heard a footstep behind me, and there stood a woman. Oh, no. I knew at once my search had ended.
Oh, she had the map, eh?
Yes, and what a body.
What?
Turning on the full force of the Morgan personality, I prevailed upon it to take a walk with me to the barn, hoping to secure some information, of course.
Oh, of course.
As we picked our way carefully through the pasture, I became aware of a strange buzzing sound.
A bee.
A dolt. It was definitely a portable radio in close proximity and transmitting a faint auditone.
Faint auditone? What's that?
Small whine.
I'll have a large brandy.
Neat?
Oh, no, mustard up.
Well, that'll be 35 cents. What are we talking about?
Go on, Frank. Where was the radio?
It wasn't a radio at all, confound it.
Well, what was it?
The farmer was shaving a goat with an electric razor. I quickly...
Frank!
What? I quickly ran with the...
Frank!
What is it?
Why was the farmer shaving a goat?
Why was the farmer... Kay, did you ever see a goat shave himself? Never heard of such a ridiculous question. Where was I?
In the barn with a beautiful goat. I mean, spy.
She wasn't a spy. She was the operative I'd been ordered to meet, and my contact was established.
I bet you were kissing her in the barn.
Wrong, my boy. It was high noon, and we commandos always strike at dawn. It's a silly rule now that I look back at it. I don't know.
Anyway, you had accomplished your mission.
No, my misfortunes had just begun. The farmer turned out to be a member of the Gestapo, and before I could reach my outfit, I was surrounded. I had to find a hiding place for the map.
Sorry, jeepers.
The enemy was closing in on me, and I feverishly tore through the woods, finally reaching a deserted cabin that had been occupied by a former musician.
Well, how did you know he was a musician?
Well, there was a bass drum in the bed.
Oh, bass drum in the bed.
Thinking quickly, I removed one of the heads from the drum and was in the act of secreting the map when they burst in on me.
Oh, they caught you with the drum?
Yes.
Well, what did you do?
What do you think? I beat it.
Thank you, Professor Kaiser. Now delving back into the history of G.I. Journal, we discover that Bob Hope made such a success as copy boy that he was soon promoted to PFC, or editor-in-chief. And here he is with star reporter Betty Grable.
You know, Bob, the boys at 696 like our takeoffs on radio programs. So have you got another one up your sleeve tonight?
I sure have, Betty. Just imagine you turned your radio on and this is what comes out.
This is the Cerise Network. Now, folks, here is the court of horrible relations conducted by the man who sticks his nose in everybody's business, Mr. John J. Hopeless. Each week, people come in to Mr. Hopeless feeling miserable. And when they leave, they want to blow their brains out. Here he is, ready to solve your problems, Mr. John J. Hopeless.
Thank you very much, and I mean very much. Do I make myself clear? Thank you very much. Now, what is the first case, Mr. Announcer?
The case of Mr. and Mrs. C.Q.
Just a minute. Are these people miserable?
Yes,
Very miserable?
Wretched.
Good. Lead the miserable wretches in. Now, what is your problem, madam?
I'm telling you, what happened to me shouldn't happen to a dog.
Oh, close your big twat.
Now, watch that, please, and step up to the microphone a little closer, please. A little closer. Oh, whoops, too close. Step back a little, please. Back a little.
Oh, make up your mind.
That's what I say.
Now, you know, I've been listening to thousands of you characters, and I'm about due to slug somebody. Now, what is your problem?
It's about my husband.
Yeah, I'm a what?
Will you please step a little closer to the microphone?
Okay.
Be careful of that mic, mister. You know, they don't grow on bushes.
Neither do heads.
Don't argue. You can get another head without a priority. Now, what is your problem, Mrs. CQ?
Well, my husband is a playboy.
Oh.
A playboy, for goodness sakes. What does he play with?
He runs around with other women.
Shocking. Is this true, Mr. CQ? Stop nodding your head and step back. Now, Mrs. CQ, just what is wrong?
Well, last Tuesday night I'm sleeping. You know what I mean?
Sure, I sleep.
And I wake up. You know what I mean?
Certainly.
And I starts reaching around for Homer. You know what I mean?
Well, I've never made a grab for Homer, but...
Well, anyhow, Homer ain't there. I tell you, Mr. Hopeless, it was humiliating.
Just a moment. Let me state this more clearly. You say that on last Tuesday, between the hours of 1 and 2 a.m., that your husband, hereinafter referred to as Mr. CQ, did willingly, knowingly, and willfully sneak out of bed, remove his nightshirt...
He sleeps raw.
Please, don't interrupt. Mr. CQ did willingly, knowingly, and willfully, without just cause or reason, take leave of the little domicile you have labored so diligently to maintain. Is that right?
Huh?
Did he take it on the lam?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you. This guy's a dope, Homer.
Please, no names. Mr. CQ, you're a cad and a cur to desert your little wife.
He ain't been home for days, Mr. Hopeless.
Oh!
And I get so lonesome.
Oh, you do? Well.
Night after night, all by myself.
Well, I see.
What is your advice, Mr. Hopeless?
Well, my advice to you, Mrs. CQ, is to go home and wait, and wait, and wait.
But my husband won't come home. I know he won't.
Don't worry about him, honey. I'll be over with the groceries right after the program.
Voted by many a subscriber as his favorite pin-up canary, Miss Connie Haynes recently inaugurated a new feature in GI Journal, the original Song of the Week, written overseas and mailed into GI Journal, Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. And one of the songs that really boosted circulation was written by Alfred J. Lawrence and Bombardier J. Calvin Van Pelt at APO 713. Its title, I Leaned Across 10,000 Miles. And here to reprint it for you is Miss Connie Haynes.
I had a wonderful dream last night. I walked right up the pathway to your door. I saw you waiting in the soft twilight, just as I'd done so many times before. I leaned across 10,000 miles last night, and somehow I bridged the gap between. I was so happy, and my heart was light when the lights of home were seen. After the waiting, all my dreams came true, and
For you who've opened GI Journal in the middle, this is Linda Darnell wearing the editor's eye shade on a special anniversary edition in which we're reprinting the highlights of the past year. And it wasn't many months ago that Bing Crosby made chief and put out a 5-star final that featured, among other departments, the advice of Arthur Q. Bryan.
Greetings, Mr. Crosby.
Well, a butterball with legs here. What have you got for us today, Arthur Q?
I have a letter from a private in Italy. But it's a widow out of my territory. It's a problem on table etiquette.
Table etiquette?
Yep. It seems that there's a chowhound in his outfit who's driving him crazy. He grabs all the bread, all the butter, the milk, the sugar, the salt, the coffee, the dessert. When the other guys reach the table, he says, "Hey, any seconds?"
Must be one of Hope's relatives. Well, what is your advice in this matter? What are you going to do for this boy?
Well, training is the answer.
Training?
Yep. I used to be the same way when I married my Rosie Love. She's my wife, you know.
That's the tomato, huh?
Yeah. I just call her Rosie Love for short.
What's her full name?
Arsenic and Old Face.
Rosie Love taught you all about table manners, huh?
Yeah, would you believe it? Last night she got sore because I served her 2 scoops of mashed potatoes.
Served her 2 scoops of mashed potatoes?
Yep.
I wonder why she got sore.
I don't know. My hands were clean. But her training did me a lot of good, though.
It did, huh? Just what do you mean?
Nowadays, when we have a turkey, I don't get any white meat.
You don't?
Nope. I don't get any dark meat either. I don't even get a leg or a wing.
What do you get?
Did you ever see a plane make a 3-point landing?
Yeah.
Well, I get the part that hits the ground last.
Ah, but all our moments are not so light and frivolous around here. Sometimes something of a more intellectual and high-class nature pops up at the copy room of the GI Journal.
Hey,
like
who's in the charge of it? I want to speak to the editor. I want to talk to the manager. I want to have a few words with the president. Is there an office boy around?
I don't quite place the face, but that head comes to a familiar point. You are,
I'm a lieutenant. I'm a captain, major, private sad sack.
Oh, yes. And you are no doubt here to tell us more experiences in the history of your life?
Yeah, right. I want to start from the time I was a bit born. When I was a bit born, the time I was
arrested development here.
No cracks about my speech. Bob Hope, you.
Okay, a fanfare then, if you please, for the life of the sad sack. What joy the sad sack brought to the Sack household when he arrived. The doctor took one look at the newborn babe, and as he gently handed him to Mrs. Sack, he said,
"If you're a pistol backing, Mama, start shooting."
But the sad sack's mother is very patient with her child. She teaches him little poems and nursery rhymes, all about the different animals. Then one day she asks her little son what animal he would like to take after. The sad sack replied,
I want to be as brave as a lion. I want to be as strong as an ugg. I want to be as wise as an owl. I want to be a wolf.
A little later in life, Sad Sack finally took out a girl. He made a date, and when he took the girl home that night, she put her arms around his neck and gave the sad sack his first kiss.
Boy, I got the goose. I got I got to do this more often.
Well, strange as... Oh, no. Strange as it may seem, the sad sack is a very good business sense. Very good businessman, this boy, and he forms a partnership with a friend of his. Together, the two of them made a lot of money. A load of dough. The sad sack is the one that sits in the car with the motor running. But then, sad sack finally winds up in the paratroopers. And after a great deal of training, the time comes for him to make his first parachute jump. He jumps from the plane and following his instructor's advice on what to do, he counts to 10.
1, 2, 3. They lied to me.
It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around, finally found somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, and even be glad just to be sad, thinking of you. Some others I've seen might try to be mean, might try to be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do. For nobody else gave me a thrill. Got your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you, had to be you. Nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you, had to be you.
Thank you, Bing. That was wonderful. You know, fellas, not so long ago, everything was serene in the GI Journal office, and then Bud Abbott was installed as editor. That was okay, too, but I'm not so sure about his choice as sports editor, a fellow named Lou Costello. And, well, you can guess what took place when Bud called Lou into conference to discuss baseball.
Now, look, what do you want? Now, look, after all, if I'm the head of the sport department, I gotta know the baseball players' names.
Oh.
And I gotta know the teams that's playing and everything else.
Naturally,
Well, that one team that's playing here this week, you know the guys' names?
Oh, sure.
Then you go ahead and tell me some of their names.
Well, I'll introduce you to the boys. You know, strange it may seem, they give these ball players nowadays very peculiar names.
Give me funny names.
Nicknames, pet names like Dizzy Dean and
Spudder Daffy?
Daffy Dean.
I'm their cousin.
Who are you?
Goofy.
Goofy, huh? Well, now let's see. We have on the bags, we have who's on first, what's on second. I don't know who's on third.
That's what I want to find out.
I say who's on first, what's on second. I don't know who's on third.
Are you the fellow that knows all the players?
Certainly.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
The fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who is on first?
Now, what are you asking me for?
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you who is on first.
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who is on first?
Have you got a contract with a first baseman?
Absolutely.
Who signed the contract?
Well, naturally. It's no good unless he signs it.
It's no good unless who signs it?
No.
So who signed it?
Absolutely.
When you pay off the first baseman every month, who gets the money?
Every dollar of it. Why not? The man's entitled to it.
Who is?
Yes.
So who gets it?
Absolutely. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base?
Oh, no, wait a minute. Don't twitch him. Don't twitch him around. What is on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
He's on third. Now, we're not talking. Let's get this thing straight.
Now, how did I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
If I mention the third baseman's name, who did I say is playing third?
No, who's playing first?
Never mind first. I want to know what's the guy's name on third.
No, what's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
He's on third.
There I go. Back on third.
Well, I can't change that name.
Will you please stay on third base and don't go off it?
What is it you
now,
want?
who's playing third base?
Now, why do you insist on putting who on third base?
Now, who am I putting over there?
Yes, but we don't want him there.
What's the guy's name belongs on third?
What belongs on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Third base.
You got an outfield?
Oh, yes.
The left fielder's name.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
All right, now tell me who's playing left field.
Who is playing
Stay
first?
out of the infield.
Don't mention that name's
I want to know what's the left fielder's name.
What's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know. Third base. And the left fielder's name?
Why?
Because.
Oh, he's center field.
You
know this players as well as I do.
Look, you got a pitcher on a team?
Now, wouldn't this be a fine team without a pitcher?
The pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me today?
I'm telling you, man.
Then go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow you going to tell me who's pitching?
Now, listen, who is not pitching?
I'll
who
break your arm, you say who's on first.
Go ahead, have it your
I
own.
want to know what's the pitcher's name.
What's on second?
I don't know.
Third base.
You got a catcher?
Oh, absolutely.
The catcher's name.
Today.
And tomorrow's pitcher.
Now you've got it.
All we got is a couple of days on the team.
I can't help that.
You know, I'm a catcher, too.
I know that.
Now, I'll get behind the plate, do some fancy catching. Tomorrow's pitching on my team, and the heavy hitter gets up.
Yes.
Tomorrow throws the ball, the guy up bunts the ball. When he bunts the ball, me being a good catcher, I want to throw the guy out of first base, so I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now, that's the first thing you've said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all you have to do.
Is to throw the ball to first base?
Yes.
Now, who's got it?
Naturally.
If I throw the ball to first base, somebody's got to catch it. Now, who caught it?
Naturally.
Who caught it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
Naturally.
Yes.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
No. You throw the ball to first base, then who gets it?
Naturally.
That's right. Now we're talking.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
You don't.
I throw it to who?
Naturally.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not saying it that way.
I said I throw the ball to naturally.
You don't. You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Well, say that.
That's what I'm saying.
Saying that.
I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Ask me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's
same as you. I throw the ball to first base, then who gets it?
Naturally.
Who has it?
Naturally.
He better have it.
Now that's it.
Now I throw the ball to naturally. Whoever it is drops the ball, so the guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball and throws it to what? What throws it to I don't know. I don't know. Throws it back to tomorrow. Triple play.
Yes.
Another guy gets up and it's a long fly ball to be caught. Why? I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a darn.
What was that?
I said, I don't give a darn.
Oh, that's our shortstop.
Sorry, gang, but that stops the presses on the special anniversary edition of G.I. Journal, in which Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, Frank Morgan, Kay Kaiser, Abbott and Costello, Connie Haynes, the Pied Pipers, Arthur Q. Bryan, and Private Sad Sack Mel Blanc have joined to reprint the highlights of the year. And don't forget an important message G.I. Joe has printed in many a G.I. Journal. Remember that American supply lines are the longest in the world. Everything you use, from pins for your pinup girls to guns and tanks, has to travel thousands of miles. Try to help. Take care of your equipment, and your equipment will take care of you. This is Linda Darnell saying, so long, fellas.
Now, this is Harry Mitchell reminding you to send in any joke or gag, original song, or any contribution you'd like us to print in this weekly AEF newspaper of the air. The address, G.I. Journal, Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.